Abraham Lincoln, one of the greatest presidents of the United States of America. Abraham Lincoln was born on February 12, 1809 in Kentucky. He was born in an old log cabin and lived in a log cabin whenever he and his family traveled to another place. His mother, Nancy Hanks Lincoln, had died of milk disease when he was 9 years old. Abraham and his father, Thomas Lincoln, rarely bonded with each other. Later on, Thomas Lincoln married Sarah Bush Johnston, who bonded with Abraham very quickly. Abraham loved to walk to school, which was miles away, to learn how to read, write, and do arithmetic. During his early life, he had opportunities to be in debating societies, to run a state legislature, and to be deputy surveyor of New Salem. When climbing the ladder to his presidency, Lincoln studied law with John Todd Stewart, served 4 successive terms in the U.S. legislature, and assisted the rise of a new political party. During his presidency, Lincoln dealt with the Confederate States of America, in which seceded because of the issues of slavery. He issued the Emancipation Proclamation in order to free multiple slaves in the Union. After his assassination, Lincoln was remembered dearly with his memorial and multiple appearances in our daily lives. During Lincoln's lifetime, many people were arguing over the issues of slavery. Racial prejudice was a fact of everyday life. Most Yankee states had enacted strict black laws. They had a hard time finding jobs. Often they set themselves as indentures for a period of 20 years, a form of voluntary slavery just to eat and have a place to live. The Southerners claimed that they had the right to own Negro slaves, and that it was a blessing for both races. In the North, slavery was outlawed. Abolitionists also protested and fought for the freeing of every slave in the Union. Later on, new territories appeared in the West. Both the North and the South fought for these territories. The South demanded more land for the cultivation of cotton and crops. The North called for free labor, or independent farmers and workers. The most important question that they faced was, would it enter the Union as a free state or a slave state? Eventually, the Missouri Compromise and the Kansas-Nebraska Act were issued. This caused Lincoln to go back into politics after his 5-year law practice. I was losing interest in politics when the repeal of the Missouri Compromise aroused me again. Lincoln's inauguration date was on March 14, 1861. He began focusing on reuniting the Union. He tried to find ways to reunite the Confederate States of America with the Union. While Lincoln was struggling to save the Union, the Civil War was still rising. The American Civil War began with the bombardment of the Fort Sumter on April 12 of 1861. Lincoln struggled to find capable generals for his armies. He went through strategic planning, weapons testing, and the demotion of officers as well. Later on, the United States won the victory of the Battle of Antietam on September 17, 1862. Lincoln decided that it was finally time to issue the proclamation. Lincoln also realized that the Confederacy didn't have a big mass of Union supporters and decided to hit at the rebels' point of vulnerability. On July 22nd of 1862, at the Philadelphia Convention, Lincoln secretly presented to his cabinet his plans for emancipation. On January 1st of 1863, Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation. Lincoln reasoned that the emancipation would work to the military advantage of the North, and it would provide additional troops for the Union. Many misunderstand that the Emancipation Proclamation was a proclamation that officially ended slavery. However, this is not true. The Emancipation Proclamation ended slavery legally and effectively only in limited areas, so it was regarded as a milestone on the road to final freedom. The Emancipation Proclamation, however, did play a big role in abolishing slavery. After Lincoln's emancipation and death, the United States issued the 13th Amendment, in which officially abolished slavery. Lincoln also issued the Emancipation Proclamation towards Arkansas, Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, and Virginia. Lincoln states in the proclamation, "And by virtue of the power and for the purpose aforesaid, I do and declare that all persons held as slaves within said designated states and parts of states are, and henceforth shall be, free. I further declare and make known that such persons of suitable condition will be received into the armed service of the United States." During the beginning of Lincoln's presidency, he repeatedly claims that his objective is to save the Union. Even when replying to prayer of 20 millions, Lincoln emphasized that his paramount objective was to save the Union. With the Confederate States of America still seceding from the Union, Lincoln's main focuses were to settle the American Civil War and to reunite the Confederate States of America with the Union. When Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation on January 1st of 1863, he has conflicted emotions. Frederick Seward, the son of William Seward, recalls Lincoln's words before the signing of the proclamation. Lincoln explains, "I never in my life felt more certain that I was doing right than I do in signing this paper, but I have been receiving calls and shaking hands since 9 o'clock this morning till my arm is stiff and numb. Now, the signature is one that will be closely examined, but if they find my hand trembled, they will say, 'He had some compunctions.' But anyway, it is going to be done." However, Lincoln also knew that this proclamation would bring his name throughout history. While planning the proclamation, Lincoln says, "If my name ever goes into history, it will be for this act."